Hello and welcome to the very first episode of Geek Out Loud. Before we dive into the show, let me give you a quick rundown of what this podcast is all about. Geek Out Loud is a multi-fandom podcast where we celebrate all things science fiction and fantasy, whether it's anime, cartoons, TV shows, comics, or anything in between. If it's imaginative, geeky, and packed with passion, chances are we'll be talking about it here. We're so excited to have you with us on this journey and hope you stick around for the ride. For our very first episode, we wanted to kick things off on a positive note. So today we're talking about something near and dear to our hearts, our favourite Doctor Who episodes. It's Geek Out. Anyway, guys, introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Ren. My pronouns are she, her, and I've done zero preparation when I was fully supposed to, so bear with me.
Hello, I'm Tebow2, and I did minimal preparation, so bear with me.
Hello, I'm the owner of the Madman in the Box YouTube channel. My pronouns are she, her, and I did probably the most preparation since I actually had to.
I was going to, but I fully forgot. I was like, yeah, I mean, it's just the podcast. We're just gonna be talking to each other, and it slipped my mind that there's like a topic, but it's fine. I've got some episodes in mind, so I've got talking points.
Okay. Right. So, Ren, I'll let you kick this off since you're literally the least prepared, so that's going to be funny. But what are your favourite Doctor Who episodes?
Evil bastard. How dare you? You dare bring this slight against me? I will rain hellfire upon you and salt your fields. Just you wait, Samantha. Well, if I had to name a few notable favorites, just the ones that come straight to my head. Blink is absolutely up there.
I mean, I do agree. That's really good.
The library, that two-parter is incredible. And then my other favorite, I don't think I remember. Water on Mars. Waters on Mars.
Yeah. Honestly, those episodes are solid. Like, especially with Waters on Mars, because you actually see the Doctor like go down this dark path temporarily, anyway.
Although if I had to give a criticism of that episode, I really like the episode's story, but like holy shit, the episode treats you like you're an idiot. The episode treats you like you're so stupid.
It shows you the newspaper articles way too many times, in my opinion.
It's like, yes, I know, they're dead. It's today. Thank you for the 30 millionth time. Can I enjoy the story, please? Thank you.
Yeah. Anyway, T, what is your favorite?
Yeah, so I think neither of you said that you knew as much about the classic era, so I'm going to throw a bit of a curveball in here and say a few of my classic favorites, those being probably Remembrance of the Daleks and The Celestial Toymaker.
Okay, can you tell us what happened in these episodes, given we've never actually watched them?
Yes, I've never seen a single episode of Classic, just straight up because I haven't really had access to it. Also, I struggle to watch older stuff just because it struggles to keep my attention with my ADHD ass.
I mean, Ren, there are literally 6-part episodes in some of the series.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Celestial Toymaker was from the William Hartnell era, and it's the same guy we see in The Giggle, the Toymaker, and he's kind of the same character. It's actually kind of remarkable how similar he was. Basically, he's this like godlike being who's in his own little realm, and his whole thing is that he treats basically every other life form as if they are his toys to be played with. And if they get trapped in his realm, basically they have to play his games in order to get out. And, I like how faithfully they recreated that for the new series, but it's kind of the same concept, and I think it was a cool story, and honestly, I think it just did a good job of communicating the stakes of, okay, this is a, all-powerful, godlike villain, and we need to, play by his rules or we're never going to get out of here. I think that was a really fun story. Remembrance of the Daleks, meanwhile, is a Sylvester McCoy story, and it's just been one of my favorites for a long time. And it's the story of Daleks, obviously. It's the Dalek Civil War between the Imperial Daleks, which are the creations of Davros, and the original Daleks, who are now called the Renegade Daleks, and civil war between the two, basically. And it comes to a head because there's this secret weapon called the Hand of Omega, which then the Doctor uses to blow up Skaro and basically, destroy all the Daleks in the end. But yeah, that one's just a lot of fun as well, and it is not the 25th anniversary episode. That one was Silver Nemesis, I believe, but it does feature a lot of callbacks to earlier in the series, so I think it works honestly better as an anniversary story. And again, I just think all of that together makes it a lot of fun. So I think both of those are a good fun watch, but as we've been saying, they are a bit slower, so you do need to kind of be patient with them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
Honestly, time is really weird when you think about it, because the fact that they were doing callbacks to earlier in the series back then, and now we're doing callbacks to that era, is just it's such a mind fuck to think about. The fact that then they're like, yeah, we know we're old, and now we're like, yeah, we know that's old. It's like also,
and in 20 years,
yeah,
today will be
100%. Also, I want to add on to what you said about them adapting the Celestial Toymaker faithfully. I am glad that's the case. However, one thing I don't like, and I think kind of cheapens the Toymaker as a whole, is the fact that they added more gods to this whole pantheon, the god of music, the god of light. Sutek is fine. Well, I mean, his episode wasn't great, but he's fine. He's fine being there because he was already an established character. But the other two, just why? Because they just I feel like they're they were just done worse than the Toymaker, because the Toymaker has this whole personality, and he's not good, he's not evil, he's just playful in the most pure form of that word. Meanwhile, the other two are just rawr, evil, I'm here to do the bad for stuff. It's okay, cool.
So, the Toymaker is canonically, and this was establishing, I'm pretty sure, in a classic order drum, is canonically not the only Celestial, because he has a sister known called Hecuba. She's the Queen of Time.
Yeah, and even within Classic Who, there were other kind of godlike beings, the Black and White Guardians.
Yeah. So he's not the only one. But I do agree that the new Celestials were done badly. I don't understand why Russell couldn't have brought back the Trickster from the Sarah Jane Adventures, because, honestly, the Trickster was such a good character.
Yeah, and wasn't that canonically also a member of the same pantheon?
I'm gonna.
Yeah, that would be cool.
I'm not gonna add on to that because I don't actually know a whole lot about the Trickster. I've only ever seen the main series of of New Who. So when the Trickster appeared in that, I'm like, who is you?
Yeah, the Trickster has really only ever been in one spin-off, and I mean his allies, I guess, have been mentioned before in Doctor Who episodes, but other than that, like in Turn Left, at the end of Turn Left, he says the beetle that affected Donna was part of the Trickster's Brigade.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. So, but other than that, the connections aren't that massive.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, I should probably say my favorite episode, shouldn't I?
Yeah.
So honestly, I honestly love the Twice Upon a Time. I don't like how they made the first Doctor sexist, but however, I do like the episode as a whole because I feel like it would have been the perfect ending to the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally see what you mean
And
there. It is just cool, like it kind of
yeah,
goes.
yeah,
full
it would have been a.
circle.
I feel like Twice Upon
Right.
a Time is a masterpiece, and it would have been a perfect ending to the show, purely because even if they wanted him to regenerate, they could have just had him change, and they could cut it off and bring it back a few years later.
Yeah. Also, to add on to what you said about him being sexist, that also opens up like okay. This is fully just like a nitpick and just a me thing, but it's something that annoys the hell out of me, so I'm just gonna mention it here. It opens like a slight like plot hole or continuity error, whatever you want to call it, because like earlier in the same series, 12 was talking about how the Time Lords were well above gender. Sexism wasn't even a concept, and here comes the First Doctor, being exactly that. It's like so. Which is it? You can't have both.
Yeah, Time Lords are above gender, but I do like Bill's joke though. So you call yourselves Time and Lords.
Yeah, that was funny, but like it's a cheeky little critique. But having the First Doctor be sexist just completely. So either 12 is lying or one is just a complete asshole for no reason.
Or see, I feel like my only way I feel like this makes sense is that the First Doctor is just messing with 12.
Or that.
Yeah, I think I've seen that.
Possibly. Headcanons.
And the First Doctor does mess around with people a lot. So
see, as nice as that would be. Sorry to anyone listening about my stutter, if that annoys you. As nice as a continuity as that would be, 12 was visibly ashamed of him, which would indicate like he knows he means it.
See, the problem is, Doctor Who, yes, it probably had sexist undertones back then because it was a very old show, but again, they were also still a very progressive show for its time. Like, they did a lot of stuff that like I'm pretty sure they did episodes that literally spoke about capitalism and like fuel and stuff and like pollution.
Like the Green Death, or trying to think of the other one, the Sunmaker.
Yeah.
I think.
So Doctor Who was always progressive. It's just the views are like, you know.
Also, just to go completely off topic, but another favorite I just remembered, because going completely off the seat of my pants here, another favorite episode of mine is The Voyage of the Damned. I really love that one.
Oh yeah. I just love the bit where the Queen just goes, "Thank you, Doctor." Like.
Yeah, that was kind of corny.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
yeah, it's just at the end, like he stops it from crashing the Buckingham Palace, and she's like, "Thank you, Doctor."
It's like, I just like to imagine in some universe. I just like to imagine some alternate universe where like the Doctor had nothing to do with saving it, and it was just some other random like hero, and the queen just assumes it's the doctor. Thank you, doctor. And doctor just pops, and doctor like hears about this, like, what did I do? What did I miss? Did I miss something?
Well, and then someone tells him about a floating boat that nearly crashed into Buckingham Palace, and he's like, "Yeah, that didn't happen."
What are you talking about? I don't remember this in my history books.
So, now question. So this is more a so guys, I want you to tell me if you could rank every Dr. Light episode, which would be your favorite and which would be your least favorite?
Dr. Light episodes. Well, least favorite is super freaking easy. It's so easy that I don't even remember its name. I'm pretty sure I just need to say one word and you'll instantly know. Absorbaloff.
Oh, Love and Monsters.
Yeah.
No. I think Love and Monsters beats Reality War. Not gonna lie.
That is okay. I'm not gonna claim Reality War was good. However, how dare like that is just insulting to Reality War. It was
No.
it is fundamentally Love and Monsters is fundamentally the single worst episode of the entire series.
I mean, it's
no,
got some
I-
competition now.
I do
True.
prefer Love and Monsters because at least Love and Monsters had an interesting Jackie storyline.
True, it does have an interesting Jackie storyline, and also it does not take itself seriously at all, so it's got that merit going for it, which Reality War very much took itself very seriously, when it really shouldn't have, apparently, because
Reality War,
Yeah,
I
they-
thought that it was like,
But, like,
genius, and it's actually just brain rot.
See, I feel
yeah.
like
I at least had fun. I at least had fun watching Reality War. Love and Monsters just like, okay, but where's the doctor? And it's like, oh, he's just showing up to scold this guy. Oh, she's a brick for all eternity? Wow, what a fucking, like, fate worse than death. Should just let her
although I
die.
must admit, in Love and Monsters, it was really cringy when they hinted that they still have romantic. After that,
Yeah, like what like what the fuck are you talking about? Like what exactly are you doing? Are you using it as a fucking glory hole?
yeah, yeah.
Also, where does his not to be like above PG-13, but like where did either he's got a really small dick or he's just like like painfully hitting the back or it's just a void.
The doctor made her mouth big. The doctor made her mouth big on the inside. Obviously, that's the only.
Oh, we definitely need to move on before we get banned. Jesus
I might have to.
Christ.
I might have to cut that bit from the
Censor that.
YouTube version anyway.
Yeah.
Patreon version and that.
Yeah.
Stay.
Well, if you want the uncensored version of this, you should check out our Patreon if we have
We
that.
do. Oh,
Hey, let's go. I guessed it.
and thanks for the ad because now I don't have to do it.
Yes, I will be. I will be the villain. Tremble in fear.
Sponsored by.
My adverts
Clash
know no
Royale.
evil.
No, we do not have a sponsor. If we had a sponsor,
Have you heard of this great new game? It's called Raid Shadow Legends. # not spawned.
we're not sponsored. Don't worry. YouTube, do not sue us or whatever company we mentioned. Don't
Sponsored
sue us.
by the Absorbaloff Reality War.
All jokes. All jokes. Yes, Zorbalov. Sponsored by the Dalek Coalition.
Okay, so we're still ranking the Doctor Light episode. So you've said about Love and Monsters being your least favorite.
Oh yeah. Fuck. I can't name a whole lot of Dr. Light episodes just off the top of my head. Oh wait, I know exactly what's like on the like. Well, okay. The top is absolutely Blink, but if we're going, but the top of Dr. Light is absolutely Blink. But if we're talking like basically no Doctor at all, I think it was 32 meters. Whatever meters.
I think it was 43 yards.
Yeah, 43 yards.
No, 70,
thank you.
no, 73 yards. 73 yards.
Yeah, seven. I got the episode name completely wrong, but you still knew what I was talking about. 73 yards, easily my favorite because it's so okay. It is such a departure from what Doctor Who normally does because it's so like it's so eldritch and unknown, and it's never like really explained, which Doctor Who loves to wrap everything in a neat little bow and explain every little detail. But like you're left with this and left to just think about what the heck. I'm gonna be a little more PG here. What the heck just happened? What did I just watch? What is going on? What magic is this? The magic in my Doctor Who world? Pagan magic, not to mention no less. That was the word I was looking for. No less. Thank you for nothing, you bastards. Anyway, yeah, pagan magic, no less. Like this is, and it was so like uncanny as well. It was. I'm sorry, I'm rambling.
73 yards. I think it was a lot of fun, and it just like it gave you questions, and it was just like this whole like creepy vibe, and I really enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, and I do love how Ruby was like, she looked at the entity and was like, okay, I can't go to you and I can't really stop you, so I'm just going to use you to save the world. Like, Ruby actually thought about it for a second. Like, if everybody runs away.
Exactly. I mean,
You get what I mean? So T, what are your ranked Doctor Light episodes?
Mine are gonna be really similar because obviously the one everyone's brain's gonna go to is obviously gonna be Blink. And then I honestly was also gonna say 73 yards because I really enjoyed it. Let's see, what else was there? I thought I had another one, maybe I don't, but yeah, Love and Monsters is obviously going to be at the bottom, and honestly, if we're going to go for a recent episode, I didn't really like Dot and Bubble either.
Oh yeah, Dot and Bubble. Thing is, I liked the episode. I just didn't like the characters. But I think that was the point. You weren't meant to like the characters.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like you were meant to hate the characters, and they did that really well. Like you did not want any of them to survive, and technically none of them did because none of them listened to the Doctor. So they've all gone to their deaths.
Honestly, as well, like okay, I liked the episode a lot, but like at the end when they were when they were all like running off. Okay, my brother's having a meltdown. Anyway, while the Doctor was like freaking out about the fact that they're all like walking off to their death, pretty much, I had no sympathy. I had no sympathy for these people. It's like, well, I mean, if you want to be stupid, go right ahead. Also, apparently, I am the idiot that fucking not Reality War. I am the idiot that Water on Mars thinks I am, apparently, because I did not pick up on the fact that they were being racist until it was explained to me. I thought they were being classist.
You mean Dot and Bubble, not Waters on Mars. You mean Dot and Bubble.
Yes. Well, no, I was... Sammy, I was using Water on Mars as an example of me being stupid. Yeah. So, so I must be the idiot that Water on Mars thinks I am, because in Dot and Bubble, I had no idea that they were being racist until it was literally explained to me in a YouTube video. I thought it was I thought they were being classist.
I actually have the same issue.
thing is,
Maybe it wasn't.
I didn't
Maybe
really
it wasn't.
notice it was racism until I watched it again. But then I realized everyone in the episode was white except the Doctor. Like,
Yeah, and what was really hinting at it actually was the fact that they were super receptive to
Ruby.
forgot her name. Wait, Ruby. They were super receptive to Ruby, but like the Doctor, they would just like shun, which really should have been my indicator.
like although it's really funny, it was funny to see the Doctor just unban himself from people's video chat. So like,
Yeah, I'm banned, honey. I love him. I love 14.
no, but could you imagine that in real life? You're in you're like on an Omegle call, right? And you just skip someone because you don't want to talk to them, and then they just like, yeah, they reappear and they're like,
the fuck, man?
"Did you just skip me?" Yeah, I did.
I'm gonna skip you again.
Just keeps coming back.
I'd close the site at that point. Like, show up at your house.
Right. I should probably list my favorite. So, honestly, my favorite Doctor Light is at the top, in my opinion, is Turn Left, because it gives us a sight into a world without the Doctor. What happens to every single one of the Doctor's friends? You see the Sarah Jane team die. Well, you don't really see them die. It says they died. You see Torchwood, they die. Basically, every ally of the Doctor, all the people who are meant to defend the world die because the Doctor is gone. They die filling in for the Doctor.
And you have that visual as
Yeah.
well of even the Doctor himself dying. And you see him like getting like carted away to a morgue and like the sonic screwdrivers falling out of his hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was interesting. Also, friggin'. Okay, actually, I've got here. Actually, hold on. Let me note something down because I've got something to talk about that later. Hold on. Things dying parallel. I'll know what that is. So I remember the first time I watched Turn Left. It's when I was like, I was a lot younger. And I remember back then, I just universally hated any episode where the Doctor was like barely involved, because, like, I was a kid, right? I couldn't really appreciate the complexities of these narratives and the stories that they're trying to tell. I was just there to watch to watch the funny rambling man. And when I didn't get that, it's like, can I just... I want to skip to the next episode, but I need to know what happens, so that way I'm not lost. Come back, Doctor, my beloved. And I would just be watching the fucking bar and, like, scrolling through to see when he reappears. Which, now I can segue into my talking point, since it's also in the Donna Noble era. The parallel the show draws between the Rachnos genocide that the Doctor does and the adipose being allowed to go free. I get the line is trying to draw of like don't genocide children, which fair, I guess, is a fair message, but the parallel, it's just not the same situation. Because the adipose were while their existence could have killed people because they would have absorbed more than
They don't actually anyone.
Yeah, I know. I'm getting there. They would have absorbed more than needed to be created in the first place. But like but once they're made, they're just these harmless, peaceful little critters that are just these adorable little things Meanwhile, the Rachnos children were fully going to consume the entire planet and feast on the flesh of the human race. So, like, while it's not a morally great decision to kill them all, it's an understandable one. Meanwhile, killing the adipose would have just been completely
Yeah, because the
unreasonable.
adipose didn't choose to be born.
Yeah, so drawing that comparison is just, and like saying like, oh, look how these two things are totally the same. They're not.
Now, okay, guys. I want to ask you guys about one episode in particular from Doctor Who. And now I know Ren has a strong opinion on this episode.
Oh, boy,
okay, what do you guys think of the Moon is an Egg episode?
Oh. Oh, pro-life? How about pro suck my dick, Doctor Who? Suck my hickory dickory dong.
It was a very weird episode, in my opinion.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like it's so like it's not subtle. Like they land on the moon, discover the whole conundrum, and the Doctor just dips out like, yep, figure it out. And then the rest of the episode is dictating the ethics of abortion.
World just like vote on it.
When like the entire planet could potentially be at risk, and of course the conclusion of the episode is that, you know, let the thing be born. It won't cause any issues. When that just, like, in reality just isn't true. Kids can cause a lot of issues.
Especially
like there's pregnancy issues, there's miscarriages, there's stillbirths, and not to mention some people just can't afford kids. People get born with kids from sexual assault. Like this is just not the stance
like,
to take.
Best metaphor in general either, but I guess like the Earth kind of represents like the mother. I guess I don't know.
Also, it has such a bullshit ending, because when an egg that size hatches, you would expect to when you crack an egg open, or when a chicken escapes its egg, right, or a chick, you know, do you expect the egg to dissolve?
Absolutely not. Those asteroids should have like hit the Earth and caused destruction.
Yeah, and also, the fact that it was born and was able to lay another egg just to prevent, and laid it in the exact same place the moon was.
Yeah, that does not make sense, and is just a stupid way to say, hey, look, we can have it be born and not cause destruction, but no matter what, even if the creature itself didn't like, directly harm the Earth, the egg and the lack of the moon would have.
Yeah, because it would cause floods.
And even if they managed to lay the egg in the exact same spot, that's not how orbit works. Like so the way orbit works. Actually, okay, this is actually an interesting story. So Newton discovering gravity wasn't actually the same as it was told. It wasn't an apple fell on his head and he had a whole idea. He saw an apple fall and he came up with and he had like a thought of like, he saw an apple fall and be carried by the wind and moved a bit to the side as it was falling, and he had a thought of like, what if like something was moving so fast to the side as it was falling that it just kept missing the ground. And that's how orbits were discovered, because that's what an orbit is. Things that are in orbit are perpetually falling towards the thing they're orbiting. They're just moving so fast that they keep missing it. And as such, the moon being the new moon being laid like that, it would have had no velocity, none. It would have just plummeted straight towards us because it doesn't have the velocity that the moon needs to stay in orbit.
I mean, yeah, and although Doctor Who did have the same issue with the two-parter Journey's End, and Stolen Earth, because when they brought the Earth back, how did they make sure it was in the direct place for the moon, and you know.
100%.
But I Doctor Who isn't a very consistent show anyway, so I do kind of let it go on some parts, but like sometimes it's a bit too much.
Yeah.
Like sometimes there'll be a season, and then they will literally go back on themselves within the same season. They would retcon they said something they said 2 episodes before.
Can you give an example? I'm blanking.
I know it's happened. I just can't remember when it's happened.
Fair enough.
But
I mean, perfect example.
Okay.
Again, going back to the classic series, when the show first started, and they were like really like non-committal about whether the Doctor is a human from the future or an alien, and it changed like every other episode.
Damn. And didn't it once try to claim that okay, so 2 things that it tried to claim that were like retconned so hard later. The Doctor's half human, and
that was the 8th Doctor Who movie.
And
that was made for Americans.
Yeah, and he has blue blood.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, both were retconned.
Yeah.
Thing is, blue blood is a good concept, but like it's also probably a lot harder to do than red blood, because it's just like easier to make look realistic.
Yeah.
Most of the time, blue blood ends up looking like just really poor quality goo. If you've ever seen poor quality goo before.
Probably. So,
should we
talk about should we talk about one of our here? We're kind of running out of time, so let's do this. Sam, you pick one of your favorite episodes, and we can all talk about that. Then T does the same, and then I'll do the same, and then we'll probably end it there.
Well, we're not ending the thing here. We're just ending the episode talk. But so one of my as I so one of my favorite episodes of all time are it's honestly the last 3 episodes in series 4, as well as my absolute favorite is the ending of 12's Era, and I've already explained why for that. But yeah, so Stolen Earth, Turn Left, and Journey's End.
Which one do you want to talk about?
Did not say those. Let's talk about let's talk about the 2-parter, Journey's End and Stolen Earth.
Yeah. All right. Sure. Anyone want to kick us off there?
So, Ren, what did you actually think about the culminative arc of Donna's storyline that led into this?
I adored Donna's storyline as it was before like the 2020s. Which I'm sure we all have our problems with that, but in any case,
I feel like they should not have touched Donna's storyline.
Yeah, easily.
But
like if you're gonna bring Donna back, not like this, right? But anyway, but ignoring the 2020s, because it's been a train wreck, for just universally, really. I'm side tangenting so badly. It is early. Thinking. So Donna's storyline was freaking awesome. Like, okay, so that whole 2-parter was my one of not my favorite moment, but one of my favorite moments is as like all of the Doctor's previous companions and people he's touched, like all appear at once, giving the Daleks an ultimatum of their own. Like all of them all of them give an ultimatum. Jack's like, yo, stop this shit or I blow your shit up. Martha's like, oh, yo, stop this shit or I blow the earth up. And fucking Rose is over here fucking being the badass bitch that she is. And it's like it's consecutive, and the doctor's just there looking so crushed, cause he already knows what he already knows what's going on, and Davros spells it out for us who are clueless, that while he abhors violence, he doesn't need it because he takes ordinary people and fashions them into weapons, which is such a like that's like bone chilling, honestly. And then Donna like pulling everyone out of the mud, with the Dr. Donna being the fucking best character ever, because and being even more powerful than the Doctor, because Time Lord knowledge mixed with human ingenuity. That is such a dangerous combo, and I love it. I wish that we got to keep her for like another season.
Well, like, have her dying be more subtle. Then the Doctor has to like save her at the end of the season.
Yeah, I kind of wish we got to keep that the Dr. Donna for like another season, just to watch the chaos unfold.
Cool. And like it is nice that we got like a hint of it in the Star Beast, but I almost think it would have been cool if like that had maybe continued for the 60th, just to make it a little more interesting.
See how I would have done the Dr. Donna, and I've explained this before to people, but how I would have solved the arc in the 60th, instead of having Donna just let it go randomly, right, which is a really terrible cop-out. What I would have done is I would have said the distance between Donna and Rose Noble means that it doesn't affect Donna as much, right, because they're really far away. And so when they're during the events of the Star Beast, it's relatively not affecting her. And what would have happened is when they get back to fight the Toymaker shoots the Doctor, he goes to regenerate, and the energy from Donna and Rose goes back in to the Doctor, causing the bigeneration. It explains both things.
Cool.
Yeah.
And it saves them.
Speaking of, speaking of companions, actually, two things I wanna talk about between Donna and Martha Jones. First of all, Donna. I love Donna and the Doctor's dynamic so much. They bounce off each other so well. Donna and the Doctor just give like the ultimate, just like two golden retriever best friends is the vibe, and I love it. I love it so much. They are best friends. And anytime like a possible romance is asked about between them by other characters, they're both like, ew, no, gross. That's like kissing my sister. Which I love so much. And that brings me to my other point about Martha Jones. People hate Martha Jones, and I don't really know, and I don't really know why. Well, it's a lie. I do know why. But like it's completely unjustified, cause the Doctor. Okay, so first companion was Rose Tyler in the new series, and they obviously had feelings for each other, which the Doctor never pursued for obvious reasons. But Martha Jones had unrequited feelings, which I'm gonna talk about in a second. But people just and like it's still a character having feelings for the Doctor, but people just piled on her for it. And when you really like ask why, it's because she's black. Like it's just straight up because she's a person of color. That is the only reason she gets as much hate as she does. And when you really like look at her story, it's honestly pretty freaking good. The Doctor is using her straight up. She is a rebound. He's like every other sentence comparing her to
Yeah.
Rose, and like pretending he doesn't see when Martha is like batting her eyelashes at him, and like like there's no other way to put this. This is abuse, whether he knows it or not. And Martha and Martha realizes it at the end of her stay, and leaves for her own health. And you watch as she leaves the TARDIS, and then like gets like this like pensive look because she doesn't quite have closure yet. So she goes back in and goes off on him, and just and just like it's framed as like this like just like friendly explanation, but it's real when you really look at it. It is a scolding. She is scolding him and like taking out all her frustrations, which she desperately needed. And you watch as just she exits the second time, just like the sigh of relief as she is finally free from that environment. Like that was
Yeah.
absolutely the Doctor abusing Martha, whether he knew it or not.
Although I must admit, David Tennant, he actually defended the actress Freema from fans who were doing bad comments. He actually defended her during the yeah. David Tennant is a very good guy.
Yeah.
The amount of respect I have for that man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's generally said that he would do anything. Like, do you know he's actually played a trans woman.
Really? That's awesome.
Yeah,
I need to see that.
He played a trans woman called
I
Davina.
need to see that. Teabag, what is a favorite episode of
Yeah,
yours
so
that you
the
want to
only
talk about?
problem with me is that I am actually needing to go here in like 5 minutes, but I'll talk for like a couple minutes. I want to talk about the Series 10 finale, World Enough in Time, The Doctor Falls. I probably my like favorite Doctor Who villains, the Cybermen, and I really liked the idea of like a genesis of the Cybermen type story where it's kind of explaining the origins of the original ones, and this gave us that. And I just think it's really beautiful because Capaldi himself, he grew up in the 60s and he really liked the Cybermen and the original ones in particular, so it was kind of like a love letter to him as an actor that they went ahead and did that story. And obviously the next one featured the first Doctor himself. And I really enjoyed that, just in terms of like what it meant to the actor and obviously what it meant to me, which is like really cool. And yeah, I thought it was really well done.
Definitely.
And also, I really like Bill just
Yeah.
as a companion, and I thought that was like a gruesome way to kill her, but like, I don't know. I thought it was well, she was brought back, but at first, at least, I thought
She
it
got
was
a
a
good
breath of
ending.
fresh air compared to like Clara getting like the really happy ending and stuff like that.
Yeah. Bill got a happy ending
Yeah, she
at
kind of
like
got
at
like
the
the best
end.
of
You
both
know,
worlds.
the space lesbian got her partner.
Yeah. Honestly, Bill. On the topic of Bill, I feel like Doctor Who has like really old. I mean, old Doctor Who. Like, I would say it's old now because we've got the reboot. Well, the soft reboot of a soft reboot. But the old Doctor Who was really good at representation because you look at Jack Harkness, you look at Clara, you look at Bill. They were great. You look at Martha. They were all great like representations for their communities.
Yep.
But
And like new representation, like it's so brazenly in your face. Like the old representation is like it's how you do it. Ultimately, it could have been better. Like they could have gone a bit farther, but like ultimately the old representation was fine because the thing about it is that A, like they're gay, and B, it's not like the center of their character, and C, it's just treated as just like a completely normal part of their character. It's not hung up on, which is something that a book series of mine I really love, Wings of Fire, does like amazingly. That's off topic.
see, I feel like you don't normalize something by shining a big light on it and going, "Oh, hey, look over here.
Yeah.
This character's really different."
Yeah.
Like
Um,
I do have to go now, but I will just close off by saying, like, yeah, I agree, and I really liked your like essay you did on this topic, just in terms of like, yeah, it doesn't normalize by making it like a big deal, and then I also do not like how they treated Rose Noble, how, you know, her being trans is like her only character trait pretty much, and she does not appear unless it's a
yeah.
comment on the existence of her and being trans. Sorry.
Yeah. It's okay.
Yeah, frog in my throat, but yeah.
All right.
All right. See ya. Thank
See
you.
ya, teabag. All right.
Yeah. We still have the questions to do,
Yeah.
but
Before I move on to my episode of choice that I want to talk about, I just want to mention 12 is like my favorite Doctor, which he wasn't for a long time. I hated him for so long. He was so boring to me because he was like, because again, when I was first watching the series, I was really young, and I was just here to watch like the super eccentric and excited man go like completely off the rails.
So,
But
question.
hold on, sorry, I'm almost on my rant. And 12 was a bit more like calm and collected usually, and lot more deliberate. And so I grew up hating him, but then as I was showing him, as I was showing my boyfriend at the time Doctor Who, and we finally got to 12's episodes, he slowly like grew on me. He had a lot of wit and charm that, and he quickly became my all-time favorite, which my boyfriend was clapping for joy because 12 was his favorite as well. What's your question?
yeah. So, question: when you were young, did you happen to like 11 stories more than 12?
Oh, I loved 11. I fucking hate him now. He is so bland as a character. I will not apologize. He's bland. He's inconsistent. Like, okay, if like 11 and 13 have opposite issues. 11 is like such a like lol, such a shallow character. His whole thing is lol, I'm random, but his episodes were so good. And 13 was like was a pretty interesting character, wildly inconsistent. I will give you that. She was inconsistent as hell, but she was interesting. But her episodes were garbage. I would love to have seen 13 in 11's episodes.
Yeah. See, the thing about 11 though is that I like 11 a bit. He's not my favorite Doctor, but he's not my least favorite Doctor. But the thing about 11, I'm pretty sure Moffat meant to rate him as this guy who's recovering from. So do you know those people who are overly happy?
Yeah.
Or overly goofy to the point where you think something's up? Well, if you think about it, 10's regeneration was very traumatic. Because the Doctor loved being 10 to the point that when he became 11, I'm pretty sure he compartmentalized all that pain into one place. And that one place comes out occasionally, and that's the dark side of the Doctor you see in the episodes where he's like, in the episode like Good Man Goes to War, where he literally full on snaps at the guy and tells him to like So in my opinion, I feel like the Doctor's meant to be the representation of a guy who, this Doctor anyway, is meant to be a representation of a guy who has shoved all their pain into one place, and sometimes it comes out.
Yeah, which I do like. I just wish that if that was the angle they were going for, that they did something with that, like give him a moment of healing or something to really round out the character. That would have that would have sold 11 for me. Just like one quiet moment, which okay, all the Doctors when they get scary, but like 11 is like up there in terms of scariness. 12 beats him in my opinion, because
12 is scary. 12 actually.
If you manage to get 12 there, you've royally fucked up, and he has like no holds barred.
12 used a gun. 12 shot someone to save Clara.
Yeah, that, and also And dude, his scene with the fucking Daleks, like, he was in a room full of Daleks. Any of them could have shot him at any point, and the fact that they didn't because they were terrified, because especially when he said, "So who here is going to tell me that Clara Oswald is dead?" Like, holy shit! Like, he was just like to put that in human terms, in Gen Z, brain rot terms. I dare a bitch to try.
And the best part is, right, the best part is when Missy tried to convince him they were dead, and tried to get the Doctor to kill Clara himself because she was in that Dalek thing. He literally said to Missy, "Run."
Yeah, cause he was not playing around anymore. He was giving he's like, "I'm giving you 5 seconds before I hunt you down."
Fucking run.
Yeah.
Also, I feel like right. Tell me, you're right. Tell me. Do you agree with me on this? The 12th Doctor is totally the kind of Doctor who probably swears when he's not on screen.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the Doctor doesn't swear, but
12 is absolutely that Doctor. I'm just imagining like the TARDIS like alarm start blaring, and he just sees like a fleet of Dalek ships like on his monitor. He just and he was completely unprepared. Just goes, "Give me a fucking break."
yeah. I feel like the only reason he doesn't swear is because he's got this, around his companions, is because he's got this, because I do like that 12 is a very unique take on the Doctor, because Classic Who did the same thing, where they did this more teacher sort of like guardian sort of thing, instead of romantic interest. And I feel like with especially with Russell, they kind of kept trying to fall into that. I do like how Moffat basically had the Doctor reject Amy.
Yeah.
In a way.
Two things as well. One, I did really like 11's death, because 11. Okay, actually, 3 things. First of all, another reason I didn't like 11 is because it was just too much of just a really shallow character, because they didn't bring him, round him out, like I said, and he was definitely like the longest running Doctor. I'm pretty sure. Secondly, I loved his death. That definitely was something that helped round him out. It didn't do a perfect job, but it helped. I'll let you talk in a second, Sammy. And the third thing, one reason I adore 12 now is because he's one of the most he's one of the most like gruff and straightforward and calculated Doctors, and like outwardly one of the and outwardly he appears as one of the more cruel Doctors. But when you actually look at his character, he's single-handedly one of the kindest Doctors there are, like in the entire roster. He is such, he looks like this uncaring bastard, but he cares so much. Which actually, Sammy, no one else is gonna know what this is, but I'm pretty sure 12 was like my inspiration for the second Captain.
Yeah. It's a D&D thing.
Yeah. So, what were you going to talk about?
So I was going to say, the thing about 11's arc as well, which I loved, is it kind of went full circle, because season 1, technically, the villains were the villains were responding to what happened on Trenzalore, which hasn't happened yet for 11.
Right.
So you had the Silence go back to try and prevent the events on Trenzalore.
Yeah, which only caused it.
And then, which literally led into it.
Jesus. Self-fulfilling prophecy.
Yeah.
Silence will fall.
But, yeah, but I just love how his arc was just full circle. It was kind of self-contained.
Yeah, definitely. I guess I should probably talk about my episode of choice now. So, Water on Mars, Blink, or the Library, or the Voyage of the Damned. Honestly, I think I'm going to talk about The Voyage for a few reasons. So, one thing I really love about 10 is I'm honestly, with how like on the nose it was, because of that book. Yeah, no, it was 100% intentional. I'm fully confident that it was intentional. 10 is very good, like neurodivergent representation. Freaking okay. So one thing he does a lot is various stimming. If you watch closely, like
Yeah.
he'll bang his head on things when he's thinking. He'll like run his hands through his hair. He'll pull on his earlobe. He's got a lot of he's got a special interest in technology and historical figures, which and he'll info dump about either whenever he comes across them, and he has like complete like shutdowns and meltdowns and high stress situations that are just so beautifully done, and that's actually why I'm going to talk about The Voyage of the Damned, because you get a pretty prominent showing of that. He gets one of these meltdowns when he fails to save the like waitress lady,
Yeah.
because there just wasn't enough data, and he flips his shit. He kicks the thing. He declares that he can do anything, and has to be like coaxed out of that meltdown. And what was the other reason I wanted to talk about this? Because
Didn't it say didn't the episode also have the message of you can't choose who lives sometimes, but if you could, then wouldn't that make you a monster?
Yes, which Water on Mars actually delved into more, because the Doctor decides, screw it, I am the god of this world, and then immediately gets shot down for it in the form of the lady killing herself, and he realizes he's gone too far.
Yeah.
As history is rewritten, which we never see the effects of, which I kind of wish we did, but oh well.
I feel like we have seen the effects.
Really?
Want me to explain? Yeah. So that species you mentioned, birth a whole new species. That species, believe it or not, is the cat people. Right? And those cat people have never shown up once again in the new series in anywhere after that. And now you could say that's just a creative decision from Moffat, and that might be the case. But my theory is that the fact that they haven't shown up again since is because they've all been erased.
I just wish it was. I just wish that was, if that was the intention. I just wish that was built on. Also, to go back to my earlier point about 10 absolutely being good neurodivergent representation. For those who haven't delved into any of the other media, I also haven't, but I heard a clip of an audio reading, of an audiobook reading of a Doctor Who book. It's from Donna Noble's time with the Doctor. She says, and I'm roughly quoting, "Ha, caffeine is the last thing you need." And she called out to her friend. I forgot her name. I'm just gonna go Martha. Yeah, Martha. Look up ADHD. I bet look up ADHD in a dictionary. I bet his picture shows up. That was actually said. So the fact that that's said is like confirmation. This was absolutely intentional.
Yeah. Another cool thing about this though is there is actually a lot more autistic representation in Doctor Who if you do look into the spin-offs, because one, there's more 10 storylines, especially in Surgeon Adventures. You actually see 10 show up multiple times. No, shows up once, and then you see 11 show up as well. But in both senses, Sarah has an autistic son, Luke Smith.
Sarah has a what?
So do you know that boy you saw in? So there's a boy. He was in the Stolen Earth and Turned Left.
Sure.
In it a lot, but he was with Mr. Smith
Yeah.
and Sarah Jane. Well, he's autistic.
Okay.
It's explored more in the show of the Sarah Jane Adventures than it is in Doctor Who because,
Got it.
he's barely in it.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah, so that's also really good autistic representation.
Also, you know what actually would have been kind of cool, for the Sarah Jane Adventures,
What?
if the episode where Sarah Jane appears on the main series was in that, but like shot from Sarah Jane's perspective and like told from her perspective. So like it would follow Sarah more, and show like what she was doing when she was off screen and such, and that would have been kind of cool just to tie that in.
See, what I would have done instead is because I feel like they wouldn't have been able to do too much of that. But what they could have done is they could have had an episode lead into that, where it just has a small cutscene where it just has a small scene where it. So you see the credits, right? But then the credits stop, and then you see Sarah walking. You see the house shake. Sarah walks towards Mr. Smith. You see the same scene, and then that leads into the episode.
Fair enough.
Kind of connecting it,
Fair enough. Or maybe she sees like a newspaper report of like weird shit at a school. Which, yeah. I still would have liked to have seen that idea, but I didn't even watch the Sarah Jane Adventures. It sounds fun.
Yeah. It's also the Sarah Jane Adventures does this really cool thing. So so there's this massive fear I had going into watching it that I thought if the Doctor was to ever appear, he would overshadow the main characters of the show, given it's not his show.
Yeah.
Right. And he doesn't do that. He doesn't overshadow them. It's always the Sarah Jane team who end up solving the thing. The Doctor just helps them.
Fine.
So he's not he's treated as a side character, not as a main character.
I love that a lot, actually. I definitely need to watch this series. I'll get to it eventually, once I get the spoons for it. You said there's questions to be asked?
Yes. Let me just go on to where they are. So, we got a few questions, actually. They're in the pins. So, Ren, question. What do you think the Midnight Entity is and how does it work?
I really couldn't tell you. Honestly though, that's like part of the charm of the Midnight Entity, that you don't know. But it just wants. But we do know from it being brought back that it just enjoys toying with people. Is the fun thing about that. It just likes to see people squirm and suffer. And fuck, I had something I wanted to say and I completely forgot what it was. Hold on. I can bring it back. Entity, what it was. Right. Because something I firmly believe is that most of the time it's better not to explain the magic, which is my whole shtick when it comes to writing Tish in The Resurgence, which if you guys are watching, there is a link to that book. It's a novel Samantha and I are writing. Tish is a character with this like natural luck, and spoiler alert, no one knows how it happened, how that happens. And when I say no,
Though
and
we
when I
will,
say no one knows, I mean it. No one knows. Not even
even us.
I, not even Samantha.
Though we will introduce multiple avenues for people to theorize on.
There will never be however never be a canon explanation because
Yeah.
not
So-
explaining the magic just because there's never a satisfying answer. Like example, like imagine you're watching a talking cat movie, right? And which actually Rick and Morty went into this. But like there's not a single explanation for why the cat talks that would be satisfying. Like, are they an alien? It's like, okay. Were they cursed? It's like, okay.
Yeah, and why would you curse a cat to talk? I mean, that's just allowing a cat to tell you, "Give me food."
Yeah, it's more of a curse for everyone else. Anyway, this was a complete divergence. Sorry. Speaking of divergence,
Oh yeah, that's one of the That's one of the prequel books, isn't
Yep.
it? That we've got to write. As well.
Yep. Where were we? All right, questions. So yeah, the Midnight Entity. I really don't know. It likes fucking with people. I know that.
So what if I told you, and I'm glad they didn't do it, but what if I told you Russell had something planned with this Midnight Entity, and I'm glad he never did it in a new show?
What was the plan?
He was going to make it a pantheon of fear god.
Genius.
But he never did that.
Absolutely genius. Clearly, that is. Yeah, great. Let's just completely ruin this as well. Which actually,
He didn't do.
can I just talk about Midnight for a second? Midnight as well is one of my all-time favorite episodes, which I should have thought about sooner. It's such a perfect episode because it so perfectly encapsulates like the human condition and mob, as well as mob mentality, and how fear causes people to do stupid shit. And you can see as well, when the entity gets cast out and the Doctor is freed, you can see just the utter horror on everyone's face as they realize as it all calms down and they all realize what the fuck they were about to do, and the fact that they were about to kill an innocent person.
Yeah.
Especially the older guy. He's straight up trembling with a finger up to his mouth as it's agape, and he is just completely horrified at his own actions.
Yeah, because like see the issue is people tend to start being more and more selfish when they think they're gonna die.
Yeah, definitely. And like all of us love to tell ourselves like, oh, I wouldn't be that person. I'd stand in front of the gun, but no, you wouldn't.
The thing is, they were ordinary people. That it's not. There's literally a family there, right? And they were a family that were on holiday. Like that's as ordinary as you can get, right? Guess not.
Also,
not today.
Also,
no one can afford that right now. So
also another thing that I just love as well that they did great in that episode, Jethro. So at first he's just this goofy angsty kid, which is super charming and he's fun on screen. And then Jethro, the teenager, becomes the voice of reason, and no one listens to him because kids are a lot more perceptive than they're given credit for, and they're so often just dismissed. Like to give an example, like siblings will absolutely know if you have a favorite child, no matter even if you don't know it, they do. My brother was the favorite child for a while until which they all just denied and just would not listen to any of my reasonings. So I felt seen by Jethro a lot.
I get that with my sister. My sister's definitely the favorite.
Yeah. All right. What's the next question?
Okay. Why does the 14th Doctor change clothing during his generation?
I think it's just a design choice, a bad one at that, because like like part of the fun of Doctor's regenerations is the fact that they keep their clothes, so they have to get a whole they have to get a whole new wardrobe. Like you literally watch, like it makes a whole big deal out of that for 11's introduction as well, which was
Yeah.
so fun, which was just so fun to watch, and just uh like I have my misgivings with 11, but just like the new clothes is like a rite of passage almost, and just to do away with that, like, boo, honestly, boo.
Yeah. So another question: how wrong do you think a regeneration can go?
I mean, wasn't didn't the master one time regenerate into a cat person?
I mean, that didn't really go wrong. Apparently, it was just experimenting.
How wrong do you think a regenerate? In what terms?
They didn't really give any terms. That's just a question. Like, how wrong do you think it can go?
Like writing, or like biologically, or like.
As in biologically, I assume what they mean is, say the Doctor is regenerating, and then he regenerates into a fly.
Yeah, like 9 was talking about how, like, he could have 2 heads, he could have no head, and when 11 regenerated, uh, he inspected himself and was like, okay, and was surprised, and was like impressed with like every little detail. It's like, okay, I've still got legs, I've got hands,
Wait, I'm
fingers,
go.
I've got hands, I've got fingers, etc. And so that suggests that it's a possibility that just couldn't, that just might not happen. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it can definitely go
Also,
awry. Like I'm just
also,
imagining a
I'm
doctor
pretty,
born without legs. He's just in a wheelchair, just strolling around.
I'm pretty sure Doctor Who, or Time Lords in general, they don't actually regenerate into human forms. Doctor Who does it because it's easier to show them as humans, because looking human, because budgetary reasons, right?
Right.
But I'm pretty sure canonically there's no limit to what a Time Lord can become.
Yeah.
So really, a Time Lord could become an alien from a planet like, you know.
Yeah, but we do also know from 12 that their subconscious has some control over what they regenerate into. So I don't think the Doctor. So
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the Doctor will never regenerate into anything that isn't human, because he just loves the humans too much.
Yeah. So another question. I need to find it again because the questions keep disappearing. But what do you how do you think the Doctor reads a sonic screwdriver?
I mean, it doesn't have a screen. So here's my idea, right? It's a sonic screwdriver, which means it makes noises. So it's probably, and given its Time Lord technology, actually no, it's not. It's technology from that.
It's not Time Lord
It's a
technology.
technology from that factory that he blew up and replaced with bananas.
It's a lot of people have sonic devices. In fact, we see that Matron in the Adipose episode with a sonic
So
pen.
scratch what I was saying, but yeah. So since it is a sonic device, what it's probably doing, because think about it. Whenever or at least whenever 10 and 11 are inspecting it, they always bring it close to their face, or even sometimes close to their ear. So what I think happens is that it's making like these almost imperceivable noises that are sending signals to your brain for like the data. as like sending the data to your head via noises.
Yeah. So you're saying that another idea is what if the sonic screwdriver is using a type of something like Morse code, not Morse code itself, because Morse code sounds nothing like that, right? But the Doctor can read it. Obviously, he can translate it.
Right.
So that's how he gets the information, you know?
There's like lights on the side that flicker.
Well, no, I mean the sound itself.
Oh, well, yeah, that too. I mean, like, I mean, that would be interesting, but like, I'm pretty sure we see like people like River and such like deciphering it as well. So I'm pretty sure it is just like information being beamed to your brain via noise.
Yeah, because humans can use it too. And another idea is like the sonic screwdriver itself was made by the TARDIS. Well, it is usually made by the TARDIS.
Yeah.
Especially 12s. It could have a psychic connection to the Doctor because it was made by the TARDIS.
Oh yeah, speaking of the Sonic, I fucking, just side tangent, I fucking hate the Sonic sunglasses. They were just annoying to me. It's like, that's just lame.
I liked them. I feel like the Sonic sunglasses were useful in some parts. Like, you didn't have to use them all the time, right?
Although the search history joke was funny.
Yeah. Also, he kind of needed them when he was blind.
Yeah, well, obviously.
I kind of realised what they were. They were basically echolocation.
Kinda, yeah.
He had bat vision.
Yeah. Next question. Sorry, wait. Actually, no, hold on. What were you saying about the Sonics made by the TARDIS?
Yeah, Sonics. Yeah. So the Doctor's modern Sonics are typically made by the TARDIS, apart from the one that Jodie made.
Which is cool.
So
I love that.
Maybe. So maybe it's just like a psychic connection, because the TARDIS itself is psychic.
Maybe, yeah.
Because humans don't really ever use it. Because have you noticed the companions don't ever use it to scan? They only use it to unlock doors.
True.
We've never seen them scan with it.
I guess. Well, no, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, no. River scans with it.
River's a Time Lord.
Is she though? She's more of a time. She's more of a time human. She was just exposed to the time vortex.
She had an actual regeneration cycle. She just gave up all of them to the Doctor.
Yeah, I know.
So she would have. That's what defines a Time Lord, them having regenerations.
I guess. Okay, so I was just gonna say. I mean, like River scans with it in her introductory episode, the one she has rather.
Yeah. Also, another question: how raw? No, we've already done that one. So what happens if you broke down one of the TARDIS sides that the TARDIS was that weren't doors and entered the TARDIS that way?
You can't break it.
Yeah, you can't. But okay. In this hypothetical, let's say the defenses are down, so it's easier to break.
I mean, to be fair, I guess the I mean, we kind of already have the answer to this question thanks to Voyage of the Damned.
What's that?
Well, you see in the episode before it, also at the start of the episode as well, that the fucking Titanic recreation slams into the TARDIS and even enters it partially, until it gets wedged into the sides. So and then the Doctor like turns a hand crank to repair it.
Yeah.
So what was the exact wording of the question, so I can answer this?
So what happens if you broke down one sides of the TARDIS that weren't doors and entered?
Well, yeah, you know exactly what happens. Thanks to that, you would just enter into the TARDIS through the hole in the side of the TARDIS, because that's what happened in Voyage of the Damned.
You'd also just piss off. You'd also piss off the Doctor.
That too. Freaking. And I mean, you just see a gaping hole into like a room that's like way bigger than it should be. Which actually, well, no, well. So the TARDIS is also taller than it should be as well, and something worth noting is that like on the interior, the ship went through like the entire wall, like top to bottom, but the exterior, it also only went like top to bottom. So, so if you were entering in through the side, you might actually through the side like that by breaking in, you might actually end up walking in as a giant.
Yeah.
So, that's worth noting. Next question?
What are some ways the Time Lords have survived death other than regeneration?
Sorry,
This could
Sam.
include the Master's
Sorry,
methods
Sam.
and
Suddenly
some of the
quiet,
things
everyone.
that have been able to help the Doctor regenerate, like with the third Doctor having his generations assisted. True.
I mean, there was the time that the Doctor hid inside of a robot of himself. And then also, I don't know if it counts as surviving regeneration, because he did still technically regenerate, but there's 10 when he poured his energy into his hand.
Yeah, true. I thought we should move on from the questions.
And then also 11 getting a whole new regeneration cycle.
Let's talk. Okay, so what is a really iconic moment in Doctor Who that you think, if it wasn't in this show, Doctor Who would not be the same?
An iconic moment that without it wouldn't be the same. We were talking about it earlier. Colonel Runaway.
I feel like River was a masterpiece of a character, though, and you can't
like
and
absolutely.
The thing
That's
about River is
that, and also any
basically
moment with
saw
River
her
Song,
arc
all of them.
backwards, because we didn't see her. We did see her at the beginning, but
Yes.
technically we didn't. Yeah. Like,
It wasn't quite backwards. It like it wasn't in a perfect order one way or the other. We did see her like at the very end of her arc the first time, but thing is even then we actually saw her later. Then we actually saw her later than even that later down the line with fucking
watch Doctor Who
11.
but
Yeah,
Timeline Order from River's perspective.
when she was like a ghost.
Yeah.
That track. Oh my god, that'd be amazing actually. But yeah, freaking
Yeah. But like,
but yeah,
it's
like it
always
wasn't
knew where
wasn't a
River was headed.
perfect timeline forwards or backwards. It was just kind of like jumping in between like different parts, and you have to
It's
like piece it together, which is
it's
really
like
interesting.
Although the only thing I didn't like about River and the River's arc is that the
Yeah,
fact that she's the Doctor's wife, and in a way that is a forced relationship. Like, it was kind of like, oh, we're destined to be together because of time, right? We're locked, right? No, it was more like it was like a picture this, right? So picture this: you meet your time
Really?
traveler,
You didn't
and
like
you
that?
meet another time traveler, and um, you don't meet each other in the right order, but apparently one day you fall in love. Now, now, but at that time you don't really have any love for them, and you're going to start to question when you do start to fall in love with them, right? And I don't think the Doctor ever did fall in love with them. Like it was more like a protective, like platonic love, not a, you know.
I mean, like, he comes off that way, but I'm pretty sure that was not intentional. I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure in canon he absolutely does like love her and cherish her even. Um, like
Yeah.
especially when he met when she met fucking 12 as well.
Yeah, like
Because
she speaks
River
about
went on
how
this whole monologue
when
about
one of the
how like
stars, you don't expect
she
him to
knows
love
he
you
doesn't
back,
love him, but like he's standing right there ready to defend her.
and she compared the Doctor to
And
the stars. But I do feel like it was a forced thing. Like it was.
and
It was
and, and
a
the doctor's like,
because we're
"Am
destined
I
to
a
be together,
joke
we
to
have to
you?
be
Like,
together.
like, woman, I
Like,
love you." And plus, yeah, probably kind of a bit, but also another point in it was definitely supposed to be romantic was when 11 kissed her, or rather she kissed 11, and he was like, haven't done that before, but that was good. It's great. Yeah, gonna be doing that
I
in the
love her.
future.
I do love the implication that Amy tried to get with the
A lot of
Doctor,
that.
failed, then
So
her
it was
daughter got
definitely
with the
meant to
Doctor.
be romantic. Like that was intended.
It's great, right?
You got cucked by your own daughter. Like incredible. Yeah, which speaking of that whole situation, I hated the
Yeah,
fact
but I
that
do feel like they did redeem
Amy,
her
like
a bit
I don't
later
like
on.
Amy as a character specifically because she was like fully willing to just cheat on her spouse with this random spaceman. A bit, yeah, which I do actually I do actually choose to ignore that ever happened because the person who
Yeah,
wrote that whole thing did
because
expressly say that he completely regrets that as well. So I treat that as non-canon just for the sake of her character.
yeah. Also, I
Because
didn't really like well, I didn't
something you
actually
should
like
always
defend Rose
remember:
either
do not blame the character for the writers failing them.
because I feel like Rose and the Doctor end up together fine, I guess. But the issue is they kind of poor Mickey,
Eh,
poor fucking Mickey. Yeah,
yeah. Which Rose, which like going back to the abuse thing, Rose was definitely abusing Mickey, uh, which was made pretty obvious, especially when Mickey like
yeah.
joined the group. Rose was not happy about it because
And
because she
Sarah Jane.
wanted more
I
alone
feel like Sarah
time with
Jane knew she
her
didn't
her,
want him
her
there, but she
boy
just
toy
was like, yeah, I think
spaceman,
Mickey should join.
and now Mickey's
And it's
encroaching
because a
on
part
that.
of her wanted to save Rose from a relationship with the Doctor because she knows it never lasts. Like Mickey there, they can't do as much, right? But I also feel like Mickey was sidelined a lot. Like he was really
Yeah, that
dismissed by both
tracks.
the Doctor, both 9 and 10, and he only really gained their respect when he uh, stayed on a parallel universe to defend it from Cybermen.
Yeah, Honestly, I think the Doctor
Nine did, didn't they?
respected him at least a bit even before then. He still he warmed up to him halfway through that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ten
I must
warmed up
admit,
to him
Russell.
and liked having him around, even if he was kind of a doofus. Um, but he's definitely being sidelined, which I'm pretty sure, which was like the point of his arc, is like he's being sidelined, and he knows that he's just not as valuable as Rose. So he weaponizes that against the Doctor when Rose runs off to do something. He also runs off in an opposite direction. And he taunts the Doctor like, you can't chase after both of us, and we both know it's not me.
So like again to our D&D campaign, we had the Captain and the Doctor. In that scenario,
Honestly, in that scenario, the captain would have gone after Rose, forcing the Doctor to go after Mickey, specifically to fuck with the Doctor.
And then there's also talking about boyfriends.
It's like, yeah, you go deal with your boyfriend.
Yeah, the Master. Now, you see, I like the Master, but I also feel
Homewrecker. We love him.
Eventually begin to be the culmination of all of Russell's mistakes in RTD2, because the Master is essentially, it was well written in the older series, but you must admit the season 3 two-parter with Martha, well, it's technically a 3-parter, but with Martha, the Master, Jack Harkness, and the Doctor, and it culminates in the Doctor basically becoming God, because to basically use his magic retcon powers and retcon everything that happened, so it never happened.
It was weird and kind of dumb, but I feel like the ending for like the Master in that scene was like good enough that like it excuses it, it saves it, you know, it brings it home.
A lot. In fact, he did it in series 1 of The Revival, because if you remember, you have Rose Tyler, the Doctor sends her back, and G comes back looking into the heart of the TARDIS. Now, I had no problem with that storyline; it made sense, right? But it seems to be but like she literally just became a Deus Ex Machina and erased the Daleks from existence. It was great though.
I loved that, honestly.
You brought him back forever.
And yeah, and Rose bringing Jack back and him having and the fact that we saw Jack episode freaking 2. We saw Jack in episode 2, and no one knew until seasons later that it was him.
That is insane. Also, another like
face of Bo.
See, the reason I mention this is because with Reality War, now there was very much the similar sort of ending of Deus Ex Machina, right? It was very much, oh, this wish is going to reset everything, but and also, if you didn't know, the Master when he was brought back, things about the Master were changed. If you didn't know, the Master wasn't always crazy. Now, I don't mind this change. It was a slight retcon, right? Doesn't really matter, but they didn't change him too much, if you get what I mean. But then you look at the modern day adaptations of classic villains, Omega, Sutekh. Both of them are very unfaithful adaptations of the original designs. Severely unfaithful. So, while RTD1 was a brilliant, series, like it also showed us what Russell would do unchecked if he got a second romp. Russell T Davies.
RTD? Oh, got it. Yeah, showrunners do that a lot, actually. So people love to hate on like people above the showrunners telling them no on things because then whenever there's something they don't like, they just blame them. But like people don't actually realize how much those people save shows so much. Okay, so two examples: The Owl House and Star Trek Voyager. The Owl House. People don't like, people, including myself, aren't a big fan of the second half of season 2 as well as all of season 3, and people blame like Disney for that. But here's the fun little detail: Disney was almost entirely hands off for those ones. Disney was more involved in season 1 in season 1. Disney wanted it to be kept as the more lighthearted vibe, but Dana just had to go this fucking like grunge aspect, and it was just and it just dragged everything down. Serialized it was just not the way to go. Okay, well, and the other aspect I wanted to point out, there's one episode of Voyager that fans universally agree is one of the worst episodes of all time, and it's this one where like the crew gets stuck in this thing that I don't remember exactly, but what I do know is that their life gets worse and worse and worse throughout the episode, and the ship starts breaking down more and more, and it's like it's like this hellish purgatory, pretty much, right? and 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 get this, and fans hated this episode. It was so just blah to them because it was so depressing and just sad all the time. And get this, the people making the show wanted that to be a whole season plot line.
See, I feel like,
and the people above them who
I feel
keep
like
the shows
16
in
is
check
different, though.
were
It's
like,
more modern
no, you
documentary.
can't do that.
It is
and
a
it-
bit serialized,
and it
but it's
paid
also not,
off.
'cause they do self-contained stories, but they also have a season arc.
Yeah, they do it. Yeah, they do it Avatar style, where, well, Avatar does it a little bit differently. But just to give an example for Avatar, Avatar is an episodic show, but it tells a serialized story. Which honestly, that's my favorite thing to do: is have an episodic show that tells a serialized story. And the way you do that
Or you
is
or
you just
or you
is
have
you
a,
just
or you have a
is
thread
you
that's present in every
at, like
episode,
at the
like
end
Bad Wolf.
sprinkle in a detail that leads into the next episode. You Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You leave breadcrumbs to pay off later, and that way each episode can still have its own 3-act structure and story, which is why episodic is just
Yeah,
like,
I do prefer it
it's
like
so
that, because
good.
I feel
I
like
love
if it's too
episodic so
serialized,
much.
like the classic Trek, it was
Especially
very
if you
serialized
can manage to
to
tell
the
a
point
serialized
where,
story within that framework. It's
like I
it's
said,
so good.
there are storylines that are in 6 parts.
Yes. Yeah. The problem with serialization is that the problem with serialization is because you're sacrificing the 3-act structure for the serialized narrative, which means that character development has to be like completely disregarded and like shot to the wind, and only leaving room for the story. And my policy when it comes to writing
Yeah.
has
Although
been and
world
always
building
will
is
be
important.
characters
If the world doesn't
first
feel lived
and
in,
foremost, everything else later, and lore
if the world
comes
doesn't feel
very
lived in,
last.
the characters don't feel believable. You know?
Yes, important, but not nearly as important as everything else. Yeah, well, still, like lore
like,
comes absolutely last. It is the last thing you need on like the list of priorities.
but
Absolutely
the,
have it, but like it's just not your focus.
the
You can
characters,
introduce lore at the
are
same
also-
time as doing other things.
So, see the issue with our book, right? So the book we're writing, if we were to, I doubt we would ever would, but if we were to ever adapt it into a TV show, the problem of it is it's going to be really hard to make it episodic in a way where it's not serialized. So if it was to become a TV show
Yeah, the
adaptation,
book.
we would have to rewrite the episodes to where
Yeah,
it
the
follows
book
same plot as
is
the book, but
serialized, but that's just because
could-
it's a book.
See-
Books are
see, the idea
serialized.
I
That's how
had,
that works.
Which
Uh,
tell me if you think this works. So we would have the occasion. So we would have the occasional. So we'd have the stuff that happens in the books. Like each chapter would be an episode, right? And there are obviously the chapters that lead into other chapters. So we'd have to do those ones, obviously, right? After. But there's also a space where there's a little bit of a time skip.
That's
right. So what we could do is we could do extra episodes where there's self-contained storylines, where it's like a break from the main. Yeah. So it's like a self-contained storyline within the narrative, which still hints at something. Maybe it hints at something for it. Maybe it hints at something for the
that'd be
next
cool.
season. You get what I mean? Or it's
definitely.
sorry, or it's like a backdoor pilot for a spin-off. You know?
Yeah. All right. Are there any... Yeah.
There aren't any more questions.
Yeah.
No.
But
I do want to.
Okay. Are there any other questions, or should we head to closing statements?
Before we all end it here, I want to speak about the fact that I am making a Doctor Who fan film and a fan audio drama. Ren here is voicing the Master in the audio drama. Yeah. If you guys would want to watch that, or listen
Hello,
to it, or watch
I
the
play
actual
the
fan film itself
Master.
as well, you could subscribe to the Patreon to help fund it and watch it early when we release it. I am also working on a website for everything Geek Out Loud, as well as all of our other projects. So realistically, you will be able to see everything early there. Also, while we're on here, this wasn't really planned, but Ren, question: do you think if we were to advertise this as a thing, so on AO3 so if we advertise this as a thing, so on AO3 we obviously have our book, right, and it will remain free on there. Like the draft will always be free. But what I'm thinking is when we release new chapters, we release them on there obviously, but once we've released the actual book, we release it only to Patreon subscribers first, and then we then we make it available to everybody else.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
So everyone can get it early, you know, like if you're subscribed to the Patreon.
Yeah.
Yeah. By the way, got a proofreader now.
Definitely, yeah. Once the not a draft version comes out.
Anyway, so we're gonna do here. Actually, Ren, do you want to do the
oh, sick.
outro? I did the intro, so.
All right, cool.
You can improvise because I didn't write an outro. I wrote an intro. I didn't write an outro.
All right. Well, we're gonna leave this here. I hope you all enjoyed this episode of Geek Out Loud, and hope you stick around for future installments. This is Ren and Sam signing off. Until next time.
Bye.
Peace.